Welcome to another session with me, Sri Lekha, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering Department. So, in yesterday's class, we have discussed something about moment of inertia. So, moment of inertia of an area about an axis is simply the product of area and square of the distance of the center of gravity from the area center of gravity of the area from that axis. So we have also discussed theorem of parallel axis. It states that the moment of inertia of a plane area about any axis is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis and the product of the area and square of the distance between the two axes. That is, moment of inertia about an axis AB is equal to moment of inertia about centroidal axis, that is Ig plus AH square, where h is the distance between the two centroids. Next, so we have also discussed the theorem of perpendicular axis. So it states that if Ixx and Iyy are the moment of inertia of a plane section about two mutually perpendicular axes xx and yy in the plane of a section, then the moment of inertia of the section Izz about the axis zz is given by Izz is equal to Ixx plus Iyy. So we have also discussed the radius of gyration. Radius of gyration of a given lamina or a body is defined as the distance from the reference axis of which whole area of section is assumed to be concentrated. So it is denoted by the letter K, and K is equal to under root of I by A, where I is the moment of inertia and A is the area of section. And in today's class we are going to discuss few problems on moment of inertia, and let us start. So problem. So find the moment of inertia of rectangle as shown in the figure about its centroidal axis and at its base. So we have already discussed the moment of inertia formula for all this. So for Ixx it is BD cubed by 12, and for it Iyy it is DB cubed by 12, and at its base it is BD cubed by 3. So given that it is a rectangle of length 60 and width 100, and now given that the so you need to find about this x axis, about y axis, and at the base AB. So we know that centroid of a rectangle is B by 2 and D by 2. So we know that moment of inertia about the centroidal axis is BD cubed by 12 about x axis is. So B is equal to 60 and D is equal to 100. So 60 into 100 cubed by 12, that will give you 5 into 10 to the power of 6 mm to the power of 4. So your moment of inertia about x axis is 5 into 10 to the power of 6 mm to the power of 4. Next, moment of inertia about y axis is dB cubed by 12. So that is equal to 100 into 60 cubed by 12. So that is equal to 18 into 10 to the power of 5 mm to the power of 4. So next, moment of inertia about its base AB. So this is all what we have discussed already. It is IAB, moment of inertia about AB axis is equal to BD cubed by 3, where B is equal to 60, D is equal to 100, and BD cubed by 3 is equal to 60 into 100 cubed by 3, that is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 7 mm to the power of 4. So this is how we calculate the moment of inertia. Or else by making use of parallel axis theorem also you can calculate this moment of inertia about AB. So we know that moment of inertia, we already got a moment of inertia about the centroidal axis is 5 into 10 to the power of 6. Okay. Now parallel to this axis is xx moment of inertia is 5 into 10 to the power of 6. Now area of that given particular figure is L into B, nothing but 60 into 100. The distance from that centroid, see if you see from this centroid to this particular AB is, it is 50. So H value will be 50 here. So you can just write IAB equal to IG plus AH square. This is moment of inertia about x axis, nothing but its centroidal axis. It is 5 into 10 to the power of 6 and A is 60 into 100 and H is 50. On substituting it also you will get the same value, that is 2 into 10 to the power of 7 mm to the power of 4. Next, find moment of inertia of a rectangle with 20 mm wide and 30 mm deep about axis AB, which is at a distance of 45 mm from the centroid. So given that you can we can locate this rectangle. So rectangle is given as a lamina, blue color. So it is of length 20 and its depth is 30. Now you want to find this moment of inertia about this axis A, B. So how will you do it? Let us do. So given that width of that particular rectangle is 20 mm and depth of the rectangle is 30 mm. Now area of the rectangle is simply width into depth. It is 600 mm square. Next, distance between the centroid and the given axis is that. So centroid is at a distance of 45 mm from the given axis AB. So H is equal to 45. Now let IAB be the moment of inertia of rectangle about AB axis. So from parallel axis theorem we know that IAB equal to IG plus AH square. So IG means moment of inertia about x axis. So we know that IG is equal to BD cube by 12. So B is 20 and D is 30. So 20 into 30 cube by 12. It will give you a value of 45,000 mm to the power 4. So this is moment of inertia about the centroid. Okay. Next, we need moment of inertia about the axis, given axis which is at a distance of 45. So it is IAB is equal to IG plus AH square. So IG value is 45,000, area is 600 and H value is 45. So 45,000 plus 600 into 45 square. That will give you a value of 126 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. So that is how we will calculate the moment of inertia about a given distance. Next we'll go for other problem. It is find moment of inertia of a rectangular lamina of 30 mm wide and 70 mm deep about its center of gravity and least radius of gyration. Okay. So it is given that a rectangular lamina of width 30 mm and depth 70 mm is there. Now you need to find the moment of inertia about its centroid and also the least radius of gyration. So when will you get the least radius of gyration? When there is least moment of inertia. So now we are going to find moment of inertia about xx and about yy, and whichever is the least moment of inertia we'll consider that and we'll find k equal to under root of I minimum by a. Okay. So then you can get least radius of gyration. So Let us write. Given that width is 30 mm, depth is 70 mm. Now area is 30 into 70 because it is a rectangle, L into B or B into D. It is equal to 70 into 30, it will give 2100 mm square. Next, moment of inertia about the centroid. So moment of inertia about the centroid for a given rectangle formula is I is equal to Ixx equal to BD cube by 12, Iyy equal to DB cube by 12. So B value is 30 and D value is 70. So 30 into 70 cube by 12, it will give you 8,57,500 mm to the power of 4. Similarly, moment of inertia about y axis, it is db cube by 12. So that will give you a value of, so 70 into 30 cube by 12, that is equal to 1,57,500 mm to the power of 4. Next, so least radius of gyration. So when do you get least radius of gyration? When there is minimum moment of inertia. Or else you can simply write, so k equal to under root of I by m. So if I is more, then k is more. So k and I are, both are proportional to each other. So if I is greater, then k will be greater. If I is less, then k will be less. So let us check which is the least moment of inertia. So Ixx is 8,57,500, whereas Iyy is 1,57,500. So Iyy is the minimum one. It means moment of inertia about y-axis is of less magnitude. So you'll get least radius of gyration when there is least moment of inertia. So k is equal to under root of Iyy by a, that is equal to under root 1,57,500 by 2100. So you'll get that is equal to 8.66 mm. Okay. Next, find the moment of inertia of a rectangular lamina of 40 mm wide and 80 mm depth. Find least radius of gyration. Okay. So here also again same problem, some similar one. So it is given that a rectangular lamina of width 40 mm and depth 80 mm. Now you need to find the least radius of gyration. So least radius of gyration means, again you should consider the least moment of inertia. So width B is equal to 40 mm. Next, depth D is equal to 80 mm. Now area A is equal to 40 by 80, it will give you 3200 mm square. Okay, 3200 mm square. Next, moment of inertia about the centroid. It is Ixx is equal to moment of inertia about the xx axis in the centroid is equal to BD cube by 12. So B value is 40, D value is 80. So on substituting B in D values, we'll have 40 into 80 cube by 12. So that is equal to 1.707 into 10 to the power of 6 mm to the power of 4. Similarly, let us find the moment of inertia about centroid along y axis. So Iyy is equal to dB cube by 12. So that is equal to 80 into 40 cube by 12. So 80 into 40 cube by 12 means 0.427 into 10 to the power of 6 mm to the power of 4. So again let us see. So it is asked least radius of gyration. So least radius of gyration means you have to have you should have the least moment of inertia. So out of two, which is the least one? Moment of inertia along the y-axis is least one. It is just 0.427 into 10 to the power of 6, which is less than 1.707 into 10 to the power of 6. So let us calculate least radius of gyration, that is k is equal to under root of Iyy by a. Since Iyy is less than Ixx, it means moment of inertia about the centroid along y-axis is less than moment of inertia along about centroid along the x-axis. So k equal to under root Iyy by a. So that is equal to under root of 0.427 into 10 to the power of 6 by 3200. So you will get a value of 11.55. So this is how you will get the least radius of gyration. Next. So till now we have solved some simple problems. Now let us go for composite figures. Okay. So now find moment of inertia and radius of gyration about the centroidal axis for the given I section. So given that an I section is there, it's both the flanges are of length 80 and widths are 20, whereas the web which is connecting both is of length 100, sorry, it is of length 120 and its thickness, web thickness is 20. Now you need to find the moment of inertia for this. So let us once again memorize yesterday's topics, that if a section is given like this, if a composite section is given like this, first we need to find the we need to divide this composite figure into the standard section. Then after we need to find centroid of each section and also area of each section, and from that you need to find the centroid of the entire figure, right? By making use of the formula x bar is equal to sum of the moment of areas by sum of the areas. Similarly, y bar equal to sum of the moment of areas about y axis by sum of areas. Nothing but sigma ax by a is equal to x bar, sigma ay by sigma a is equal to y bar. So and then after that you should take moment of inertia of each section, and then about x-axis if you have to take, about y-axis you have to take. Now total moment of inertia about x-axis means ix1 plus ix2 plus ix3 and so on. Total moment of inertia about y-axis means iy1 plus iy2 plus iy3, like that you have to calculate all the moment of inertias about their axis and sum them. So likewise you have to do all this. Okay, so let us solve it. So first, so dividing that I section into standard sections, that is we have divided both each flange into one rectangle and also the web into a rectangle. So first rectangle you see at the bottom flange, its length is 80 and its width is 20. So its centroid C1, nothing but x1 y1 is, you know that for rectangle it is L by 2 and B by 2. So 80 by 2 it is 40 and 20 by 2 is 10. So x term is 80 and y term is 20. Now area of this section is L into B, nothing but 80 into 20. It's 1600 square. Next, second section is the web. So here the web length is uh, 20, its thickness is 20 and its height is 120. So now horizontally if you see, that web is at certain distance from the y-axis. So from y-axis, how much far is that web? So it is at a distance of 30, right? The gap between y-axis and the web is 30. So your x term will be like 30 plus 20 by 2. So 20 by 2 means 10. So 10 plus 30 is 40. So your x term is 40. Similarly, see y term. So again, the web is at a distance from the x-axis, right? So it is placed on the bottom flange. So what is the distance between the x-axis, between the axis and the web along between x-axis and the web? It is 20. So the y term will be 20 plus 120 by 2. So 120 by 2 is 60, and this 20 plus 60 will give you 80. So your x2 comma y2 will be 40 comma 80. Now its area A2 is for 120 by into 20. So it is how much? 12 to the 24, 2400 mm square. Next, third section. So the third section is of length 80 and of height 20. So again, from y-axis it is not of any distance. So you can simply write x3 is equal to 80 by 2, L by 2, because there is no distance from the y-axis. It is placed on the axis. Next, coming to the y term, so it is at a altitude, it is at a height, it is not on the x-axis, right? So what is that distance? It is 20 plus 120 means 140. So your its thickness is 20. So 20 by 2 plus 140, it will give you 150. So your x3 is 40 and y3 is 150, and area is how much? It is 80 into 20, it is nothing but 1600. So like this we'll be finding the centroids and areas. Next, so given section is symmetric about both x axis and y axis. So x and y will lie on the x and y axis only, right? So the centroid will lie on the centroidal axis only. So the centroid, so nothing but, so you can see that this on this particular point on this centroidal axis only they will lie. So it is 40 comma 80 will be the centroid for it. Okay. Next, let us come to the moment of inertia. So this is moment of inertia of the section 1 along the x-axis. So moment of inertia about centroid along the x-axis is b1 d1 cube by 12. You know that base is of 80 and the depth is of 20. So 80 into 20 cube by 12, it is 53,333.33 and so on. So you can simply write it as 5.3 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Again, IGY1. It means moment of inertia of section 1 about the centroidal axis along y-axis. So it is simply db cube by 12 or d1b1 cube by 12. We are referring section 1, so let us put 1s at the suffixes. So 20 into 80 cube by 12. It will give you 8,53,333.33. So it is simply 85.3 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Next, so area into h square, so that we can substitute it in parallel axis theorem. So now hy means distance from the centroidal axis to the centroidal axis of the entire figure to the centroid of this section 1. So what is the distance? It is 70 square. So area is section area. It is 80 into 20. It is 1600. So 16 AH square means 1600 into 70 square. Now it is nothing but 78 lakhs 40,000. No, so ah x square is 0 because x term is same everywhere. So for the first section, second section and third section, and for the entire section it is 40. So if you take x bar minus x, it is simply 0. Means the distance between the centroidal axis of the entire figure with the centroidal axis of each section is 0. They are all lying on the same line. So it is 0. So you can find only along the y terms. So similarly for section 2 also. Moment of inertia about x-axis is b2 d2 cube by 12. You know its base is 20 and the depth is 120. So 20 into 120 cube by 12. It will give 28 lakhs 80,000. So it is equal to 288 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Next, moment of inertia about centroidal axis along y-axis. It is IgY2. It is equal to d2b2 cube by 12. It is equal to 120 into 20 cube by 12. Nothing but 80,000. So it is 80 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. So likewise, we'll get the value. So here again, a into h square. So h, distance between the x-axis of this particular section 2 and the overall centroidal x term is 0. So something 0 into something is 0. So along y-axis let us take. So again the y-axis is also same, coinciding. So this value is also 0. Next, for section 3 let us take. So moment of inertia about centroidal axis along the x-axis is b cube d cube by 12. So that is equal to 80 into 20 cube by 12. So it will give you 80 into 20 cube by 12 means 53,333.33. So that is equal to 5.3 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Next, moment of inertia about y-axis is d3b3 cube by 12. So that is equal to 20 into 80 cube by 12. So that is equal to 8,53,333.33. So is equal to 85.33 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Now area into distance between the centroids along the y-axis. Let us take. So a into hy cube square, hy3 square. So a3 value is how much? 1600 into 70 square. That will give you 78 lakhs 40,000. Now if you take a3 into hx square, it is simply 0 because we know that distance between all the x-axis, centroidal axis is 0. Now let us take. So first serial number, next area of the sections, that is a1, a2 and a3. We got that areas by making use of the formula L into B, length into breadth. It is 80 into 20 and one more is 120 into 20 and the third one is again 80 into 20. Next, IGX. So this one we got by means of the BD cube by 12. So we got something into 10 to the power of 4. So we have written there m to the power of 4 into 10 to the power of 4. It is 5.3 into 10 to the power of 4. It was by b1 d1 cube by 12. Next, second one is b2 d2 cube by 12. You got 288 into 10 to the power of 4. Next, third one is b3 d3 cube by 12. It is 5.3 into 10 to the power of 4. Next, a into hy square. So this one how did you get? So this one I got by making use of the formula a into h square. Okay, 784, 0 and 784. Next, ixx. Ixx means igx plus ahy square. So this is by making use of the parallel axis theorem. So A is nothing but moment of inertia about the centroidal axis, and this AHY square means product of area and the square of the centroidal distance between the two axes. So it is 5.3 into 784. It will give you 789.3 into 10 to the power of 4. This is moment of inertia about x axis. Next, second one, 288. Next, 5.3 plus 784. It is nothing but again 789.3. Next, so IGY means moment of inertia about the centroidal axis along y axis is, for the first one we got 85.3. How did we get this? By making use of dB cube by 12 formula, right? So dB cube by 12 everywhere. It is 85.3 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4 for the first section, and for the second section it was 8 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. Next, for the third section it is 85.3 into 10 to the power of 4. Next, when we were calculating the product of area into square of the distance between the centroidal axis, we got that the distance between the centroidal axis is always 0 because it is 40 everywhere. Alright, the value of the x coordinate of all the centroids of all the sections as well as of the entire composite section is 40. So the automatically the product would be 0. So now if you take the sum of the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis plus product of the area into square of the distance, you will get the same value which you have got at the centroid. It is 85.3 and it is 8 and it is again 85.3. Now if I want moment of inertia about the centroidal axis along xx means Ixx is equal to Ix1 plus Ix2 plus Ix3. It means you need to add all the moment of inertias about the x-axis. So Ixx is equal to 789.3 plus 288 plus 789.3 into 10 to the power of 4. So this will give you a value of 1866.6 into 10 to the power of 4. So this is the value of the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis along x-axis of the composite figure. Next, similarly, if I want moment of inertia of the composite figure about the centroid along y axis, then I'll take just simply Iy1 plus Iy2 plus Iy3. So it is simply 85.3 into 10 to the power of 4 plus 8 into 10 to the power of 4 plus 85.3 into 10 to the power of 4. So summation of all these, it will give you 178.6 into 10 to the power of 4 mm to the power of 4. So like this, we will be calculating the values. Next, so this is how we got. So entire section means simply summation of all the individual sections. Next, radius of gyration of the entire section about the centroidal axis. So if I am taking along the x axis, it is simply k is equal to under root of sigma ixx by sigma a. So ixx we already found, that is nothing but 1866.6 into 10 to the power of 4 by some of the areas. So you will get that as 57.33 mm. Similarly, radius of gyration for entire section about centroidal y-axis is sum of IYY by sum of the areas. So IYY is 178.6 we have got, and some of the areas means you have to take that 1600 plus 1600 plus 2400, that value you have to consider. So you will get 17.85 mm. So like this we will be doing. So this is how we will be calculating the problems. Okay. Next, let us discuss a small topic, that is uh, whatever I have uh, uh, taught. So in the previous classes we have already discussed that what is a centroid again. Centroid, center of gravity, the point at which the whole weight of the body is supposed to act, is called center of gravity. It is represented by Cg or G. Center of mass, the point at which the whole uh, whole body is said to be, whole mass of the body is supposed to act, is called center of mass. Centroid, the plane figure like rectangle, square, circle, etc. will have only area but no mass. The center of area of such figures is known as centroid. Now the centroid is defined as the point where the whole area of the figure is said to be assumed. Now the centroid of simple plane figures uh, we have taken R. For a rectangle it is simply b by 2 and d by 2, and for a square the centroids are b by 2 and b by 2 if b is the side. Next, for a triangle the centroids are b by 2 and h by 3. Next, for a right angle triangle it is b by 3 and h by 3. If you are coming from the top, then it is 2h by 3. From the edges if you take, it is 2h by 3. But if you are taking from the right angle, it is b by 3 and h by 3. Next, for a circle it is simply uh, radius. Radius is the centroid. It is nothing but d by 2 or r on both x and y axis. Next, for a semicircle it is d by 2 comma 4r by 3 pi. Next, for quadrant it is 4r by 3 pi comma 4r by 3 pi. Next, for a trapezium at the x-axis it is simply b by 2, and but the y term it is h by 3 into 2a plus b by a plus b. Next, center of gravity of simple solids are, for a right circular cone it is y is equal to, y bar is equal to h by 4, whereas for cylinder it is y bar is equal to h by 2, and for hemisphere it is y bar is equal to 3r by 8. And centroid of the complex shapes, by the method of moments we have taken that. So if a plane figure is given, then you need to so you have to divide that entire section into uh, the definite shapes such as a rectangle or a triangle or a square or anything, and then you need to take the centroid of each section. For each section you need to calculate the centroid, and also for each section you need to calculate the uh, what moment of areas a1, a2 and a3 and so on. So this centroids, how will you calculate? By making use of whatever I have told now. Okay, so by making use of those things only you will be doing it. Next, next by after finding out all those from the principles of moments, that is, we'll take the distance of centroid from the y-axis as x bar is equal to a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3 and so on by a1 plus a2 plus a3. Right? Similarly, y bar is nothing but distance of the centroid from the x-axis. It is y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus a3 y3 and so on by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So it is simply y bar is equal to sum of ay by sum of a. Similarly, center of gravity of solid bodies. So in case of solid bodies having certain mass m, then the whole mass can be supposed to be consists of small masses m1, m2, m3 and etc. Now the position of the center of gravity can be found by making use of certain equations such as x bar is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 plus and so on by m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on. So x bar is simply sigma mx by sigma m. Similarly, y bar is equal to m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 and so on by m1 plus m2 plus m3 and so on. So y bar will be is equal to sigma my by sigma m. So like that we'll be calculating the centroids and center of gravities and centroids. Next, for the centroids with the cutout portions, we'll take will subtract that moment of inertia. Next, so theorem of moment of inertia is nothing but moment of force about any point is the product of force and the perpendicular distance between them. So this is called as first moment of inertia. If you are multiplying it with once again with the perpendicular distance, then it will become second moment of inertia. Next, if you are so likewise we'll take next radius of gyration. The distance of point where the whole area of the section is assumed to be concentrated for a given from a given axis is called radius of gyration. So it is denoted by k. So radius of gyration is equal to k is equal to under root of I by a. Next, theorems of moment of inertia. We have parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. So parallel axis theorem states that the moment of inertia about a plane area about any axis is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis and the product of the area and the square of the distance between the two axes. and it is given by moment of inertia about AB is equal to Ig plus AH square, and moment of inertia about the perpendicular axis is simply perpendicular axis is so moment of inertia about the perpendicular axis can be simply taken as if Ix and Iyy are the moment of inertia of a plane section about two perpendicular axes Ix and Iyy, then the moment of inertia about the Izz section is given as Ixx is equal to Ixx plus Iyy equal to Izz, where Z can be taken as polar axis and Izz can be taken as polar moment of inertia. And also we can calculate various things like moment of inertia for a rectangle is so moment of inertia about x axis is BD cube by 12 about the centroidal axis. Okay, moment of inertia about the centroidal axis about y axis is dB cube by 12, and moment of inertia about a base is BD cube by 3. Similarly, moment of inertia about Ix is BH cube by 36. Similarly, moment of inertia about AB is BH cube by 12. Next, moment of inertia of a circle is pi d power 4 by 64. Moment of inertia of a semicircle is about the x-axis is 0.11 out to the power of 4. About y axis is pi d power 4 by 128. And moment of inertia of a quadrant is Ixx equal to Iyy equal to 0.055 r to the power of 4. Similarly, moment of inertia about AB is pi r power 4 by 60. So like this we will do with various sections. So this is all how we will do it. Okay. So thank you very much. This is your, today's section, and there ends this session. And tomorrow we'll go for a new chapter, new topic, and we'll solve a number of problems in this moment of inertia. And that's all for today.